Hey yo, what's up? This is your boy Jay coming at you once again with a continuation of life story. And last video, I shared about my teenage life in Argentina, and I ended it with how beautiful it was and how great it was. And the the continuation of that is that yeah, life was good in Argentina, and I had built by the time my teenage lives were solidifying, my friendships were deep and many. Um, like school was good, friendships were good, life was just good all around. I was just enjoying myself. And boom, one day my parents come and they say, "Hey, so we have an offer to make," and they say, "We have procured the chance for you to move to the States and have bigger opportunities as you further your studies into college." And it was a hard decision actually because even though I've always wanted to live in the States, I also was so good living in Argentina with all my friends and my life literally all built. Yet something tugged at my heart and I decided to move to the States. And um, next thing you know, I'm on a plane on my way to New York. And I landed in New York on a hot summer day in June. And I remember coming out of the airport and driving through, and I'm like, this doesn't look like the New York that I saw in the movies. And that was like the first disappointment. And then number two, I came into a city in New York called Flushing, and I found it to be more like Korea, which I'm not that familiar with anyways because I've literally lived all my life in Argentina. But there were so many like Korean signs and restaurants, and like I literally landed in the heart of Cape Town, and I wasn't expecting it because in Argentina I lived in a neighborhood that was literally like zero Koreans except my family. So it was a little bit weird, but also I was kind of glad because there was a sense of familiarity. I knew that I was gonna be able to get good food, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Like in Argentina, I frequently went to the several different Cape towns um, that are in Buenos Aires to either eat food or hang out with my friends, whatever, shop, um, and but I remember like coming and I'm like, hey, so like I came to New York to live the American life, not the Korean life or a fusion of it. And uh, what was really hard is that I actually had to make a choice again whether I was going to settle in LA or New York, which are the two biggest communities, Korean communities in the States. And I went to LA, and as soon as I landed in LA and I just got acquainted a little bit, within a day or two, I knew that if I stayed in LA, my life was gonna be pretty much a repeat, or it was just gonna be it was literally gonna be like the same life I lived in Argentina. And something inside told me, don't stay in LA because you're gonna live the same life. You didn't come here to live the same life. If anything, you made that move to live a different life, to be a different Jay. And that propelled me to actually make a decision to settle down in New York. And after I settled down in New York, I believe I started to face reality, quote unquote, because I enrolled in high school and there were a lot of Korean people too, and like, there was a lot of Hispanic, blacks, whites, whatever. It was a very diverse school that I went to. And what happened is that because I'm Asian, I was looked upon as Asian, and of course I went to look for comfort in my Asian community. I found none of it. I actually found betrayal, and that was a very hard pill to swallow because I thought that people were being my friends, but they were only coming to me for homework or tests. And during lunchtime or gym, they would act like they didn't even know me. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is how the game is played over here. And there was other episodes, but I don't really recall them very well. I remember one instance, like I had a really nice Casio G-Shock watch, and I left it in the locker with my Korean friend, and he stole it, and he acted like he didn't, and I had no way of proving that he wasn't the the what do you call it, the suspect. So I had to swallow that pill too, and from then on I had to like, okay, so then I guess no more sharing. I'll have to get my own lock. And so it was all like learning lessons, and that was like the garbage, the dirt that I shared. But also at the same time, funny enough, I soon started to relate with other people, and they ended up being like legitimate friends. And those high school friends that I made 20 years ago, I still have them today. Like they're still my friends, and actually I saw a few of them on Christmas, and there's actually one that I still talk to pretty regularly, and you know, we live nearby each other, which is a great thing. But so that was the initial journey. And when I first started high school, I spoke English like I spoke Spanish. So yeah, I know I have an accent now, but my accent was even stronger then. And if anything, now my accent is mixed between a Korean and Spanish and English, which is weird. But the thing is, my Korean was really poor when I got to the US. Actually, I learned more Korean as I grew up here in New York, because I lived surrounded by the Korean community even more than I was surrounded by the Korean community in Argentina. So my Korean got exponentially better. My Spanish dropped down a little bit, and my English now is like my main tongue. Like it's the main language that I speak the most comfortably. And that initial switch was super tough, because when you speak Spanish, there are words in English that look just like it, and you keep pronouncing them like you pronounce them in Spanish, and it is the hardest thing to get that off your tongue, because you've been living with that way of pronouncing things for a very long time. And I thought my English was decent. No, I ended up in ESL for about 2 semesters, and then I transitioned over to English. But those 2 semesters of ESL were pretty nasty, because I didn't know why I was there. My grammar was good and my English was decent, and I just had to like grind out 2 semesters of ESL just to be transferred over to regular English. But even after going to English class, I knew that my English wasn't like all there. And that meant that I had to haul ass to study for my SATs and TOEFLs, and that was a crazy journey. That was the craziest part. And why do I say that? Because, like I said, I thought my studies were good. You know, my grades were okay. But I landed in junior year, and I had to get ready within 1 year to come up to par to score a pretty good score on both TOEFLs and on my TOEFL score and my SAT score. And I remember I had to bust my ass to catch up on that. There were things, especially solving math problems in English, because most of the times I couldn't really understand what the question was, just because I lacked a lot of context of what they're asking. And the one thing I can remember is that I went to a after school tutoring center so that I could bring my grades up and bring my skills up for my TOEFLs and SATs. And I remember they sat me down to test my proficiency level. And it just so happens that day I was the only student that was enrolling to that school. I sat down in a little corner, and for 3 hours, I buried my face upon sheets and sheets and sheets of test papers that I had no idea what they were talking about. And just on that, just on that merit, my my after school program took me in. They said your skills are poor. Um, we don't know if we can bring you up to par, but just your just your persistency of focusing there for 3 hours like that, and we're taking you in just because of that. And lo and behold, good things happened, but I'll share more of that journey on my next video. This video is getting a little longer. I didn't intend to, but anyway, so that was my journey of transitioning between living life as a teenager in Argentina and living life as a teenager in America. Like I said, not everything was dirt, not everything was dark and gloomy. There was a lot of great times, so I'll fuse those great times with 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 how things went with my TOEFL and SATs, and give you more insights into my life and my origin story and how I came to do what I do now. Thank you everybody for investing time of your precious day to listen to my video and watch my video. Like, comment, share. If you can relate, if there was anything similar in your life that happened to you, go ahead and let me know. Anything that you want to comment about my video, feel free. Just it's a very free place for you to express yourself. So don't be shy, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I will see you guys on the next video. This was your boy Jay. Peace out.